We have a lot of multilateral organizations now, but the problem is that they're all dominated by the West. They all have become the tools of the West. But if you look at the world's population, 4 out of 5 people, they live in the developing nations. So, but where is the voice for those 6-7 billion people who live in the developing nations? So we need multilateral organizations that would truly represent the global South. And that's what BRICS can be. Let's take a look at the problems that the developing countries face. So the first one would be the dependency on the US dollar and the Western institutions. So, well, if you don't fully obey the US, they're going to place sanctions on your country. So they say, you cannot trade without the US dollar. So, well, if you don't obey the American diktats, then we're going to withhold the US dollar, the dollar, and then you cannot trade with other countries. So the sanctions is the number one problem. And the number two is that when the developing countries run out of the US dollars, as we see all the time with Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Argentina, or the new examples, or in the African countries, the Western banks and the corporations, they come and would take over your country. They will take over your media, your banks, your natural resources, and then you become a slave, and then you can will never get out of the debt trap. And they will force the poor countries to raise only the crops, like say coffee or the cocoa beans, and then they will force the developing countries to depend on the US and the European countries for, say, wheat and rice and so on. So it's a trap that they lay. So a good organization like BRICS, they can develop a framework so that the countries can trade with each other in their the local currencies. So when you have a lot of choices, then with no one country is going to have a lot of the power. So now they don't have to worry about the monopolization, right? So this is the democratization of world finance and trade. And this is what we need for the developing countries to grow.